and welcome to Coffee Chat. I'm today's host, Rrain, and my guest today is Gerry Oliver, who is here to talk about the Blue Hills Fibre Festival. Welcome to the show, Gerry.
Thank you very much. Pleased to be here.
So, this gives us a great opening to start right from the very beginning. What is the Blue Hills Fibre Festival?
Blue Hills Fibre Festival. Well, it was started a few years ago, and it's a gathering of fibre enthusiasts from mostly the West Man region, but we do get a lot of people drive out from Winnipeg to enjoy the products, the classes, the wool competitions, and so they really
it's worth
support it quite
for.
well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when we say fibre, what are we talking about?
Wool off of sheep and alpacas. Sometimes there's llama fiber. Sometimes there's Angora sheep or Angora rabbits. Things made with those, and sometimes the raw products are available as well, depending on which vendor comes and if they have those animals on their farm. And so.
And we are in a sheep producing area. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that.
There's yes, the western part of the province is well populated with sheep. That's for sure.
I think a lot of people focus on the cattle here, the horses, the pigs especially, and don't realize that we are in very much a sheep area. Mm-hmm. And there's lots of this. But we're talking about the fibres specifically today. So let's start with, I know because I saw this last year and it was awesome, the competition.
Talk wool competition
element.
That's my area of expertise, that one. So the wool competition is open to anybody who wants to enter up to 2 fleeces. They have to be from this year's shearing. And so we bring a very accomplished wool judge from Regina, and she and I go through the fleeces, and she tells me what she thinks the scoring is, and we use a scorecard that is directed towards handcrafters. So there's a difference between a commercial scorecard and a handcrafter scorecard. So the one we use is directed to. It has the scoring for fleeces that have the characteristics that a handcrafter would want, as opposed to what a commercial.
Because those are not necessarily the same thing.
No, the commercial scorecard, a lot of it is about the weight and size of the fleece, and it doesn't pay a lot of attention to the characteristics of the wool, of the breed of the sheep that it comes off of, those sorts of things. And so handcrafters are looking for something usually a little bit different. And so some of what we can offer at this one is several rare breed sheep. We have producers that bring those. So there's British long wools, which includes Cotswold and Wensleydales and Romneys. And then we have Navajo churros, which there's only one breeder in Manitoba, but she brings her. And the Navajo churro wool was used historically by the Navajo Indians to make their famous rugs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that, and then the Rambouillet sheep, which would be considered first cousin to merino. So their wool is very soft, and so that enables you to use it for something that you can wear next to your skin.
Right.
And then after that, we have usually Shetland and Icelandic fleeces that come in, and then there's a variety of ones that are sort of in between. So it's quite interesting. Last year it took us almost the whole day to go through all the fleeces. I
remember.
And it was a long day, but we had a bunch of new people bringing their fleeces the first time they had competed. So it was very interesting. And so when people come, they see us doing the judging, they're all welcome to come up and watch. And so they understand what it is that the judge is looking for, and they are free to ask questions as well. So, and then after we finish the judging, then there's a silent auction for the fleeces, so people can bid on them and hopefully take one home.
Yes. And when we're talking about the fleeces, I don't know if maybe a lot of people watching don't know a lot about sheep shearing, but when the sheep is sheared, it pretty much comes off in one, if you do it right.
That's right, yes. And it depends a little bit on the breed. Like the long wools, the fleeces tend to be a little more open, and so they can, they'll hang together for the most part, but they can sort of separate, put it that way. But whereas like a Rambouillet, it comes off in a big, great
you
big.
Can see the shape of it.
Yes, it looks like a sheep. So yes, it's it depends a bit on the breeds of the sheep.
And certainly all different colors are coming in as well.
Absolutely. Most people think white sheep, but in my own flock I have brown, gray, different shades of gray, blacks, as well as the white. And then the Shetlands and the Icelandics are usually black or gray, but the Shetlands, you get a wide variety of color combinations.
So it's not even just by breed, it's just...
That's right. Yeah, you'll get a lot of variety happening.
And you see that all at the Fibre Festival.
Yeah, for sure.
And you talked a little bit about the difference between the types of wool, whether it's very soft wool or whether... What are they used for? Like, what are the different types of wool used for?
Okay, so the wool is broken down into 4 main categories. So there's fine wool, medium or down wool, long wools, and then specialties. The fine wools are usually used because like people think wool is itchy. The wool fiber actually has scales on it, and the fine wool, the scales are very tiny as you go through. So the medium breeds, the scales are a little bigger. The long wools, the scales are large, and then so that adds to whether it's... Some people are sensitive to that, and so it's not that they're allergic to wool. It's that it's those scales that irritate the skin. So the fine wools, the Rambouillet, and I have a breed called Rommeldale. They're very fine, very, very soft, and interesting colors, not just white. The medium breeds, a lot of that the wool doesn't felt very well.
Yes, I was going to say, they're good for different things.
Yes, so people use those for things that, like, they can actually wash them in the washing machine, carefully. And so people use them for toques, mitts, scarves, socks, that kind of stuff. So there's a bit of a spring to those medium breeds. The long wools are very strong. And very high luster, so they're very shiny. And so historically the long wools were used for carpeting, upholstery, outerwear like coats and
maybe
things
industrial applications as well.
Yes. But in fact it was the long wool breeds that supported many of the churches in England, because merchants from Italy would come to buy those fleeces, and so that money was then channeled into the churches of England. And so that's when you're traveling around, you'll see all these big churches. Well, a lot of that was done from the wool. So they're very strong, high luster, and then the specialty breeds, it's sort of like a catch-all category for your Shetlands. The Navajo Churro would be in that. The Icelandic ones, Gotlands, just ones that, and the Shetlands can have dual coat. So they have a longer guard coat, and then this very soft, very fine inner coat that usually you have to separate to be able to utilize them. If you want the very soft part of it, then you have to separate them. So and then you get all different kinds of color combinations with those ones. So that and so there, yeah. If you separate them all, and that's how they're judged as
Yeah.
well. So they're
Like
broken.
to like.
Absolutely, yeah. So
All right. Well, we have, if you can see this, a little poster about enter your best fleeces into this competition. I think we got that there. And then,
And just so if anybody's considering entering
Yeah.
a fleece, they need to know that they have to be there by 10 o'clock in the morning.
And this is on June 7th.
On June 7th,
Yeah.
yes. And they need to know that they need to clean their fleeces up a little bit before they bring them.
Yeah.
So they need to skirt them a bit.
Or they will be judged very harshly.
Well, yeah. Well, they won't make it.
They won't make it on the table.
They won't get a prize. Let's
Yes.
put it that way. But yeah.
So they have to be there right when you open at 10
Yes.
to be in the competition.
And they can enter when they come.
Okay.
Yeah. The entry forms are online on our
Okay.
Blue Hills Fibre Festival site.
Okay.
So they can do that all ahead of time. And if they have any questions, my contact is there as well.
It's on there as well.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that is one of the aspects of the Fibre Festival. There are several others. So I'm actually going to move on to the mill tours, which aren't right there on site, but they are on the same day.
That's right. Austin Woolen Mill at Austin is offering free tours of their mill for that day from 9 till 4.
Yep.
And so what we're hoping is that when people are either driving towards Carberry, that they might pull in there and have a quick view, and they'll see the whole process of taking a raw fleece and turning it into yarn or rovings or bats or things like that.
I believe this is a fairly new mill, right?
They opened a year ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and already they're booking in well past next year. They're that busy. Yes. So we need more woolen mills in Manitoba.
We do. Well, like we were saying, this is actually a sheep area. People need to maybe take advantage of that more.
Yeah.
There's a good business right there for somebody.
So, and also they will have booth at the festival in Carberry.
And then Austin is how far from Carberry?
It's a 20-minute drive.
It's not. Yeah, it's about 20 minutes. I'm going to show this one as well, if we can see that. About the free mill tours. And I'm excited to do this myself this year. I didn't get to see it last year. Looking forward to actually seeing the mill.
It was fun because Brian, the owner, he came and helped with our shearing this year. Mm-hmm. So he got to meet all these fiber ladies and hear all about what they think about the wools and different kinds and and processing those all those sorts of things. And he saw a whole bunch of breeds. He buys wool from me, but he hadn't seen them all yet, and so he actually had his hands in wool for the whole day. So he found it a really interesting experience.
I can imagine it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's something we need to do sometime is check out the whole shearing experience.
Yes, it's very much a process.
Many hands, full day process.
Absolutely, it is. Yes. Yeah.
So that is number 2 on our list of things happening during the Blue Hills Fibre Festival. Then there are demonstrations and classes as well.
That's right. We have 4 classes being offered, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. And so there's wet felting and needle felting.
Okay.
And then drop spindle spinning. So that's fun to try.
Yeah.
I've tried it, but
it's hard. I have a drop spindle. It is hard.
Well, so I just decided I'd let somebody else do it. I'm busy enough looking after sheep. But and then there's nail binding, which is a medieval technique of making things with knots.
Yeah.
So so it looks very interesting. I have never tried it, but so that
I've heard of it. I've never tried it. I'm excited it's going to be there.
Yes, I think if I had time, I probably would
Yes.
try and take it. But
Your hands will be full with
Yes.
a bunch of fleeces up on the stage there, I think.
That's right. Yeah. So those are offered, and if people are interested, they need to pre-register, and all that is on
Okay.
our website. So and all of the instructors are have been teaching for a long time, and they know their stuff. So,
Yeah.
So, but a full description is on the website.
Excellent. Okay. We'll
Yeah.
have to make sure we'll get that website out there with this.
Yes. So, yeah. So that's the classes, and as I say, they're not at the Carberry Community Hall. They're in the old town hall, and so
Okay.
they have that all set up for classes.
And
that,
that's
so.
pretty much just kind of across the street, right? Like, it's pretty close.
It's about halfway down the block
Yeah.
from Main Street. Yeah.
Yeah, which is, I mean, if you've been to Carberry, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's like a 5-minute
Main Street's
walk.
about 3 blocks, so.
Yes. Yeah, it's only about 5 minutes
Yeah.
or so to walk there. So.
And I don't know if it's anything like last year. There was a corner where people just kind of got out their spinning wheels and they were just
Yes.
spinning and chatting.
Yes. Well, there's place for a
Yeah.
spinning circle.
Yeah.
And knitting circle if people
Yeah.
are interested. And like you say, they bring their spinning wheels or their knitting needles, and they sit and they visit and they relax and
Yeah.
just spin away. And it's
Yeah.
it's a very nice, very community minded sort of a
Yeah.
even part of it. Yeah, the ladies. And sometimes I've
Yeah.
seen a man
Yep.
there too, one or two, yeah. So it's not exclusive. So
There is a gender bias there, but it's not exclusive.
that's right.
For sure.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
And then I've saved this for last on purpose because I really want to talk about the celebration of Fibre first. Of course, there is a market. There's all kinds of vendors going to be there.
There is 26 different
26 vendors. Yeah.
coming, yes, and they're bringing a huge variety of products, wool products, so like
Yeah.
hand-dyed yarns or kits of all kinds.
Yeah.
There's felted stuff.
Yeah.
There's
Equipment, like I've seen
yes,
quite a bit of.
yes. People can often bring like a spinning wheel or
Yeah.
different things to that they are offering for sale
Yeah.
as well. So there's all kinds of different kits, embroidery. What else?
And so much dyed wool.
Yes, and another product that gardeners will be interested in
Okay.
is wool pellets.
Wool pellets.
Wool pellets.
Okay.
So this is a new initiative from the Canadian Cooperative Wool Growers, and the wool pellets are made from the skirtings from when we are shearing and that.
Right. That's basically discard just about. It's
All
it's
the
kind of-
discard.
yeah.
Some of it might have poop in it. Some
Yeah.
is straw and hay or whatever. And so
All the dirty edges.
all that stuff that we don't want on the good part of the fleeces
Yeah.
is now they grind it up and they pelletize it and they use it for fertilizer in potted plants or in your
Interesting.
garden. It has nitrogen, phosphorus in
Yeah.
it, plus micronutrients. Breaks down in about 9 months, and there's organic matter. It holds on to the moisture.
Yeah.
From the wool does that. So there's a lot of really strong positives for utilizing that. So I think it's a magnificent way to use up what would normally be throwaway,
Yeah.
compostable wool product.
Yeah.
So there is a vendor there that will have wool pellets
Yeah.
for sale. And then what else? Yeah, there's a listing of the vendors that will be there on the website.
Okay.
So people can check out, see if your favorite person is there, or
And they probably will be if they're in the
somebody new. Yes, yes, yeah. So actually, I think Woolsley Wool from Winnipeg is
Yeah.
coming as well. So they're a
So across the province,
major
really.
wool shop in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So they'll be there. Yeah.
I mean, this is, I would say, probably one of the premier destinations for,
there's
fiber enthusiasts, I guess.
early in the summer.
Yeah.
Yes, the Blue Hills is the place to go for
Yeah.
your supplies.
Yeah.
the Manitoba Fibre Festival is in the first weekend of September in Winnipeg. So there's the two major ones happening in Manitoba.
One Westman, one Eastman, and then
Yeah. So both of them, there's so many interesting things to see.
Absolutely.
I'm always amazed at what people make with wool.
Well, in talking about those pallets really goes to show how many uses it has.
Oh,
it's not just
absolutely.
your mittens, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, people often forget that the lanolin, the oils on the wool, we use that. That is used through the pharmaceutical industry to make face creams, hand creams. So you're smearing it on your face, even if you don't realize it. Or they use it as a lubricant for and an anti-corrosion product for equipment, like metal stuff. So that's you can get those at Princess Auto,
right?
So the sheep offers us so many opportunities to utilize all that they can give.
I think it's amazing with sheep that that we can do so much with wool, and we don't just take the wool because we need it. They need to be sheared anyway. This is for the health of the sheep as well.
Absolutely, it is. Yes. Yeah. The shearing needs to happen every year, and some breeds actually need it twice a year.
Yeah.
And if you want to keep your animals healthy, then that has to be built into your management.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. And one other thing that's at the festival is that the Manitoba Sheep Association, who is one of the sponsors, as well as the Canadian Cooperative Wool Growers, will be there with different displays.
Okay.
And so and there'll be people there who will be able to answer questions.
So that's largely information on the industry and on the wool. And
that's right. So people can ask them questions about, what would it take for me to buy some sheep and have sheep to keep my lawn short, or fertilize my lawn, sort of thing. Or
you don't need to have 100 sheep; you can have 2.
That's right.
It's okay.
Absolutely, that's right. And yes, so they can talk about the wool industry in general, both in Manitoba and Canada, even worldwide. And Manitoba, the breeds that people would normally see in Manitoba or on the prairies, because there's quite a dividing line between what breeds you find here. The climate here is different than what you get down east, and some breeds
will thrive
do better in drier conditions, and other ones don't mind the moisture climate of the east.
So there is this industry association that can really give you a lot of information about all of these things.
That's right. And they'll have some display, and they actually have recipe cards to cook lamb and all kinds of stuff. And actually they have shearing videos. So if you have never seen a sheep sheared, you can see that there. Yep. So
I seem to remember they had something where you could feel a bunch of different types as well.
Yes. I made those up several years ago so I took pieces of wool from, I think there's about 20 different breeds of sheep of the different wool categories, so people can see that there's absolute
a huge difference between all of them.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else going on that day that I have missed asking you about?
Oh, yes. Not only is the woolen mill, the wool mill tour, there's also just half a block down the street is the Main Street Market and Studio.
Right. Okay.
So that's got some local, what did she say? 75, I believe, it's different people from around the area with all different kinds of
handcrafts.
Yep. Artists, creators, makers, and bakers, because they sell really good sourdough bread there.
I was not aware of that, and now I'm going to have to go.
Yes.
I knew they had jams. I didn't know they had the bread, too.
Yeah, so it's, and there's antiques and fresh flowers and all kinds of things in there. So that's I think just about a year old, but she's found
Found a real niche
so
there.
many people
Yeah.
there, that bring in different kinds of products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is all happening. This is Carberry at the
Community
Carberry
Hall.
Community Hall,
Yeah, on June 7th.
June 7th from 10
Till
to 4.
4. Yes. And then they can zap into Austin.
Yep. Even before, because it starts at 9.
Before or after, and then find some interesting things.
Or over lunch or whatever,
down the
you know.
street. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's a jam-packed day with all kinds of fun stuff.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all your information on this festival and your wealth of knowledge on the sheep industry as well.
I've been doing it for more than 25
Yeah.
years.
So I think it's just a really important part of our area that I would like more people to know about.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk with you.
And thank all of you for joining us. We will see you next time on Coffee Chat.